What's up, guys? It's Eugene. I am coming to you after a long hiatus. I apologize. For a lot of you guys, I think I appreciate the support that you've given me by telling me to continue to produce content, and I have to admit I have been terrible at it. Being a new father and trying to juggle all of the other projects going on has left me a little bit less capable of putting out as much content as I would have liked. But I did want to come to you guys today because I have a relatively important thing happening with the car. I think a major mark for any major car manufacturer is going through the recall process, and Rivian is currently going through that now with all of the vehicles they made in 2022 and delivered to customers. And as many of you know, it has to do with a bolt being improperly torqued in the suspension. From what I've gathered, both in Facebook groups and from Rivian itself, the inspection should not take very long, and if there is something that needs to be done, it probably just needs to be torqued properly. Of course, I have no idea because I haven't gone through it yet, but my Rivian mobile service technician will be showing up today, and they will be going through it, and I hopefully will be able to record the process and give you guys an idea of what the recall looks like, what's happening, and then maybe the technician can answer some questions of what a catastrophic failure of the recall would look like and whether or not that's happened or not. Based on my personal research so far, I have not seen that there has actually been a catastrophic failure yet. However, my research has been pretty limited. I haven't spent more than an hour or so on Facebook groups looking into this. But based on the communication I've gotten, which has been thorough, I have received a lot of messages, both in terms of an email. Before Rivian actually recalled, they sent an email the day before letting us know that they had filed with the NHTSA to get the recall going. And they just, they did a good job of communicating ahead of time. Then obviously the actual official recall happened. And then I received a text message of the recall, and then I received another text message from a service guide, and that's how I got scheduled for today. I would say the communication, although thorough, I think is necessary. I think it's absolutely necessary, especially since it's their first time going through it, and hopefully they maintain this. I do think it'd be really annoying if they have a recall again. Hopefully they don't have to worry about another recall again, but I do think that this communication is important. That being said, I am currently waiting for a call from my technician. Hopefully I'll get that within the next hour or so. And once that happens, I will get what content I can and share it with you guys. Yeah. Okay, guys. I just got done with the recall. Was actually pretty fast, extremely fast. I made it way longer than it should have been, so appreciate the patience for the technician who answered all my questions and was giving me more information. So technically the bolt that they're looking at is in your upper control arm. It's the one that actually connects the upper control arm to the rest of the vehicle. And what they told me was that there was one catastrophic failure, and they had determined that the nut had not been tightened by the standards. Technically, it was supposed to reach a certain torque amount, and from what they could gather, they had done it by hand. It was only hand tight. So they are going around, they are checking for that. Obviously, that's the biggest one that they're looking for, but they're also tightening it up a little bbit more. So they have it at a certain setting. They're going to go a little bit heavier than that. He did tell me that it's not something that they should be publishing. They did give me the numbers, but I don't feel comfortable sharing because I think he wasn't supposed to share with me anyways. But getting in and looking at it's actually pretty easy. So I'm not saying that you do this yourself. Obviously, go through the right protocol, have Rivian look at it, because if you do it yourself, you're just putting yourself you're just putting yourself at fault if anything happens with it, and then Rivian's not going to cover it. So do the recall. But for those of you that are curious, pretty easy. Gonna go ahead and see if I can raise the height here. So what he ended up doing was he increased the height, obviously, of the car. And then he turned the wheel. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So showing you guys what's happening here. I've increased the height, I turned my wheel, and so now, if you go in here, can't do it, I think it's right here. Technically, right up in here. Ish. I'm not sure if you can see it, but like that spot right there, that's what they're checking. And so, obviously, if it's been torched properly, nothing too crazy, obviously. You're not gonna have too many issues. I'm gonna go back to standard here. So, as you can tell, as you can see, you know, if it's been torched to the number that they had out of factory, you're gonna be fine. They are tightening it up a little bit more, just to do it. But that's it. They're literally just looking at the upper control arm and the bolt to nut that connects it, and that makes it so that, you know, one, they've confirmed that, you know, yours isn't the hand tightened version. In terms of how many they've serviced so far, the technician that I talked to, a single technician, and they only need one technician to inspect it, he's mentioned that they've done 15 to 18 a day since the recall came out. Quite a large number, especially in Utah. I didn't realize, but there's 300 plus that went out of their service center this year, and then there's a bunch that came out of state. Up in Park City, Utah, you have, you know, cars from all over the country coming up there because those are second homes or something like that. So tons of cars have been inspected for the recall, and from what I understand, the only incident that the technician knows of is a single incident that set the entire chain off. That being said, I'm not going to say whether or not this is a huge issue or not, but I am going to say that you do get your recall, you do get it checked. You know, there's a percentage opportunity that there could be something going on with your car that you might not know of. So obviously, get the Rivian checked. For those of you that don't have a Rivian but are just more kind of following along to see how things are going, I would honestly say that they're doing a pretty good job of taking care of this issue. It almost sounds like it's a freak accident that came out of the factory. There's no way that this should have happened, but they're taking ownership of it. They're checking every vehicle that they've sent out, and, you know, it gives me a lot of peace of mind. That being said, more content to come. I do apologize again that it's been so long since I've put anything out, but hopefully, you know, in the next couple of weeks here, we'll have some content about software updates, how those have been coming along, and then just a recap, because it's been over half a year since I got this vehicle, and I do think you guys deserve an idea of what I think. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Feel free to let me know if you guys have any questions or comments below, and I guess don't forget to follow. Hopefully I'm putting out enough content that you guys enjoy it.